Hi Libra, this is your general tarot reading for Libra Sun, Moon and Ascendant, rising sign, for the month of March 2018. And I hope you're doing well. I hope that you enjoyed last month with all the love of Valentine's. I hope it worked out okay. I hope that Valentine's champagne left you feeling nice and sparkly and bubbly without too much of a hangover. And the first card that came out is the Eight of Swords. Okay, we're going to lay that down here. Libra, if you've watched my videos before, you know what I'm doing. I am shuffling the cards and waiting on the right ones to come out just for you. And in the meantime, I'm going to tell you what are the energies surrounding you for the month of March. Well, we know that there's a big full moon in your 12th house on the very first day of March, and a full moon in the 12th house. I mean, this is a real psychic coupling. The moon is all about intuition, dreams, visions, tuning into something very deep, something that's not quite tangible, something that you can't explain away or quite put your finger on. And that is going into the 12th house of spirituality, hidden places, things that were lost. And maybe what you might do there is you might feel that you need a little bit of time away, that you need to take a few steps back. You need a bit of quiet time, a bit of a retreat. You need to close the door and just have a bit of silence, have a bit of quiet, some peace and quiet. And in that peace and quiet, Libra, you're going to be feeling a little bit emotional. It's almost like at the very beginning of March, you will want to go away and have a very serious think about what's going on in your life, particularly in matters of your heart, particularly emotionally for you. The next card that jumped out there is the Seven of Swords. I just get the sense with the energies that are happening, and I'll go through this with you, that at the start of March, Libra, there's lovely love energy there. Oh, a card just fell on the ground. I'll just get this 1 second. At the start of March, strength. Yeah, you're going to be feeling that you need a little bit of strength, and that's why you're pulling back a little bit. The 12th house is the place of loneliness sometimes. Now, we know, if you've watched my other videos, that Pluto and Saturn are putting an intense focus. Saturn is squeezing you, and Pluto is making you look intensely, look deeply into your home life. And with the moon going into the 12th house, Libra, at the start of the month, you might begin to feel a little bit lonely. Now, your home could be beautiful, and I have absolutely no doubt that it is. Libra's homes are always beautiful. But even in a crowd, if it's a full house, there's something will, I can't quite explain it, something will make you feel lonesome. And it's okay, it will pass, but it will set the theme for the month. I would expect this sensation or this feeling if you were a lone parent raising a family on your own, or maybe you're raising a family that you are married, you are in a partnership, but your partner works very, very hard, or you're like ships in the night, you don't get to see each other, that it's maybe your work or something, or being busy raising a family, that you just don't get time with each other, the time you'd like. So there's just that moment of feeling the loneliness and going then through March of wanting to rebalance that, and you will. You won't feel lonely all the time. And it sounds like a very sad thing, but it's not. It's an opportunity for you to redress this situation. If you feel it, that you're a bit lonely, it'll be a great opportunity for you to talk about that with your partner. Or for those who are lone parents or on your own, maybe it's an opportunity for you to think about either how to manage that and be happy in that, or change it and bring somebody into your life. Because Three of Cups, when I said change it, bring somebody into your life, I think that's what you were saying. Yeah, I need somebody in my life. Even in a full house, I can still feel lonely. I need to feel loved. Maybe by more than one person. maybe. But we know that Mercury and Venus in the start of the second week of March are going to be in your 7th house. And that's your house of relationships. Here we have the card of the Chariot, which also represents Cancer, the Cancerians of the zodiac. The King of Swords there. Another card leaping there. I pulled out the card of Cancer, Cancerians, and I got a very cross-looking card beside it, and another card just exploded. Are you getting on well with Cancers? Maybe not. It doesn't look like you are. Hold on. And the Knight of Swords coming out there. So, okay, what's going on there? We'll talk about it. We're still pulling more cards. So, say the start of the second week of March, you'll be able to communicate your feelings far better. You'll be able to feel that communication is running smoothly. Things that you might have been afraid to talk about or just didn't want to bring up. You didn't quite know how to, broach the situation. But now you do around the second week of March. And it'll flow, it'll be more fluid, and you'll make peace. You'll just feel good about yourself. And I'm glad to hear that, Libra, because, there was a lot of stress too for you as you left February and entered March. The 6th house energy, cards falling. This isn't your typical energy, Libra. Hold on, I'll just get these cards. Sometimes when cards fall, they leap and jump, and that's okay. They do that sometimes. But when they fall like that, it's like a tired energy. Are you tired, Libra? Are you not getting enough rest? Here we have the 10 of Pentacles. Then we have the 2 of Swords. Then we have the 5 of Wands. The 4 of Cups. And we had 2 other cards that came out here. The 4 of Wands. And the last card is the Hermit. And the Hermit is actually what we've really been talking about you spending time alone to regroup and gather your thoughts. Anyway, so I'm just going to organize the cards here, Libra, so we can see what's going on. Yeah, let's have a look. But that will be a good time in March for this communication. Things will flow better. Things haven't been flowing. Communication has been bad, hasn't it, Libra? And it's like your life has changed somehow, that you had to restructure so many things. Maybe you had to change your job, change your diet, change so many small details, because the 6th house is the house of small details in your daily life. They all had to take a radical change. And I can understand if you had to change all these details, and if the onus was on you to organize, fix things around, analyze, be critical about things. If that was all on your shoulders, I can certainly understand why you might be feeling a bit alone. And if for those who are in a relationship, if you might be feeling that you're left carrying the can. And maybe you'll have an opportunity in the second week of March to discuss this. Now, we do know, before I look down, that there's Mercury retrograde in the 7th house, the house of relationships. That's happening around the 21st, 22nd. So even though things will have smoothed over and you'll have had a good conversation, by around the 21st, 22nd, you'll go back and you'll say, listen, the full moon in the 12th house reminded me of a situation that happened a while ago. Look, can we talk about that? Can we air this? Can we put this to rest? Can I really get into it? Can we really see why things went wrong? And can we go over it until we get good, clear communication? So that's what could be happening. Anyway, let's move down to the cards, Libra, and see what else is going on. Okay, Libra. Here we have the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is often a card that tells us that a person is feeling very trapped, very bogged down, very imprisoned by their life. So maybe it is true, maybe that you have so much going on in your life that you're trying to keep it all together. And it's quite intense, because anywhere we have an 8, we also have deep intensity. And here we have all these swords which represent things going round and round in your mind. And you feel a little bit trapped. It's quite intense what's going on in your mind. There are things, maybe projects, relationships, or day-to-day things which have to be organized. And it's just like you're holding so many things all at once in your mind that you're feeling the pressure of it. And it's not a good place for you to be, Libra, because there's always a danger with Libra when you lose balance, when you go into overdrive with your thoughts, that you lose your sleep. And then it's a whole effect. You lose your sleep, then you lose your good humour in the day. You lose your good humour in the day, you're not able to talk to people as effectively and as brilliantly as you do. You're not able to communicate your ideas as well. So it has a knock-on effect. So what I would ask you to do, Libra, is in March, put a huge focus on unravelling all the unnecessary things that are causing you worry. And if it is a case where somebody is in your life, be it a partner, a lover, and they're asking you to give them too much of your thoughts, it's almost like their behaviour has you wondering. It has you staying up at night and thinking, and you're analysing, and you're saying, why are they doing this? Why are they behaving that way? They're confusing you. And you're trying to be one step ahead of the game, because, it's hard to explain. It's almost like that is their game. Their game is to keep you on your toes, keep you wondering what's going on, and to keep you blindfolded, to keep you in the dark about what they're up to in some ways. And it's just too much mental activity for you. And you're good at keeping things juggled in your mind. I mean, this is one of your best traits, Libra. But yet here we have you with too much going on. Too much going on in your mind. And Libra, if people are putting you under mental pressure, demanding that you keep your mind on them, on worrying about them or thinking about them, then I would do my very best, if I was you, to take a little bit of a step back. And here's why, my gorgeous Libra, because this is the card, the 7 of Swords. This is the card of underhandedness and deceit, of somebody being a bit crafty and a bit sly. This is the energy of a person who goes in, takes the best that they can get and leaves the rest. For example, if it was a relationship, it would be somebody who calls you when they need you, but aren't really prepared to stick around when you need them. Or if it's in your work life, the same thing. Somebody who only calls you when they need something and don't really come back to you for anything else. So there's an element of being used, of somebody coming and taking something from you and sneaking off. And perhaps this is what's causing you the mental anguish. And whoever it is, or whatever the situation is in your life, I would encourage you, Libra, under the full moon on the 1st of March, to mull this over, because you'll get great insight into this situation. Observe it, learn from it, and trust your intuition right from the very first day of March on how to continue with this situation, okay? Intense mental, how would you say, imprisonment, or intense mental problems being caused by somebody who is acting a little bit shady, okay? That never ever turns out well. Shady business, shady love affairs, shady behaviour, it never works. It never works. So don't let anybody do that to you, Libra. Never let anybody do that to you, because if you're in a position where you're trying to figure somebody out, I mean, take your mind out of it. You can't, if somebody's behaving badly, no amount of figuring them out is going to fix it. It's how you feel about it. Do you feel good around them or don't you? And if you don't, let the energy of the full moon in the 12th house give you insights into why they're making you suspicious, why they're giving you a bit of a hard time. And through that, you'll learn to take a few steps back from that situation so you're not so hurt by it, okay? And what you will get then is strength. Here we see a number 8 again, intensity, always intensity, infinity too, but intensity. This is you really feeling empowered. And what would give you that power? Well, I imagine that the Mercury and Venus in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships, where you're feeling that you're able to get your ideas and points across, are really giving you the strength that you need. And you will go at this, any projects that you're doing, any love affairs, anything that's happening particularly in your home life, you're going to go at it with a great sense of intensity. And like I said, if you are changing your diet, if you are changing your health or your exercise in some way, or just going through all your wardrobes and clearing them out to shake things up a bit, you'll do it with such great energy and intensity that you'll feel great, you'll feel strong. You've got the power to do this, okay? But beside that, besides strength, which is also a Leo card, perhaps you're dealing with a Leo, beside this you have wonderful celebrations. The 3 of Cups, the celebration of love, great communication. Wherever you see a 3, it's to do with communication. And here we have the Cups, which are free-flowing love, free-flowing communication, also psychic connection. So you'll have that lovely feeling through March that you have this gorgeous psychic connection with somebody or a group of people that you care about. And you want to celebrate that. So you could be invited to somewhere to celebrate. I know it's Aries' birthday in March, and Pisces. Maybe you'll be called to go to a birthday celebration with them, and you'll enjoy it. You'll feel the love. And maybe for you single Libras, you might really appreciate the love and the humour from a Leo. So either way, it's good. I will say this about this card too. For some of you Libras, you may need the strength to get over a situation, a love situation where there was something getting in the way of love, very often a love rival or a third party. This isn't for everybody, only for some Libras. If somebody is in there, if there is a third party, you're going to need all your strength to get over this situation, and March is going to bring that to you too, okay? Like I said, doesn't apply to every Libra, just some. Now here we have the Chariot moving swiftly and boldly along with a sense of victory, strength, celebration, celebrating something. Are you celebrating a victory of some sort this month, Libra? What could that be? I know some of you, like I said, are being squeezed at the moment with your home, like your physical house, your assets too. Maybe you'll have to sell your home or sell some of your assets, possibly even sell a vehicle. In some card readers would say that the Chariot represents your car. But there are assets and your home that you may have to look at how the bills are paid and so on like that. But you'll have a little minor victory, maybe with all these things and all the things you're trying to organize. It's just a good card. It's the card also of Cancerians, Cancer. And beside that is the King of Swords. This is the very stern king. He is an air sign, which is you, Libra, also Aquarius and also Gemini. Is this you beside a Cancer, looking stern and saying, I am not falling for you anymore. I'm not falling for this emotional blackmail anymore. 1 minute we're on, next minute we're off. Are we good or aren't we good? And look here, this is also a 7, the 7th house relationships. I'm saying this is a Cancerian, but it could be just your lover who's feeling like they're a bit cocky, who's feeling like that they can play you a little bit sometimes, that they can manipulate you emotionally sometimes. But in March you're saying, look, I'm having absolutely none of this anymore. Tell me straight, talk to me, give me the facts, give me the details, none of your crime, none of your emotional bullshit. Just tell me how things are, what is going on. I mean, this is not water, there's no emotions here, there's no fire here, there's no passion. It is just the mind, the intellect saying, give me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God, because if I don't, I will put that sword through you. So no more emotional blackmail. Strange, strange, strange. Libra, I hope you're not going through that. I hope that the victory you are feeling is that you are finally getting the truth out of somebody. If somebody is kind of emotionally blackmailing you or tugging on your heartstrings a little bit too much and getting you to run and jump for them, then I think March is you're going to draw a line there. You're going to say, I don't think so. I don't think so. We can't do it this way anymore. And then what happens is the Knight of Swords will come through, and he is action. He is a whirlwind. He says, if there's any lies or anything bullshitty happening in my life, I'm going to cut through it, and I'm going to cut through it quickly. It's fast movement. It's truth. It is cutting people down to size also with your words. If you are being tackled by other people, it seems people who are trying to be tricky and sly with you, who are trying to take advantage of you, both emotionally and mentally, you're saying, no, 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 we're going to cut through all of that now. We're going to cut through all of it. And when you do cut through it, Libra, this is what you end up with. This is the card of success and a happy home life. So there's something that you're running with. You're cutting through red tape, you're cutting through lies, you're cutting through emotional attachments in order to have a happy home. So what is it? What is going on, Libra? Are you going through your expenses? Because we know that you have energy there with Jupiter going retrograde in your second house, eliminating unnecessary expenses, going through all your bills and cutting them down in order for you to have a much happier home. Had you been spending too much money and it was just too much, and you're saying, look, we just need to pare things back. The point of our life is to have a happy home, not to spend like sailors at a port. You know, we just need to relax a bit. So ultimately your goal is to have a happy home and to have that feeling of success. It's an unusual reading because half of your cards are talking about mental anguish and mental torment and cutting through all the lies and nonsense and deceit. And then you've got cards about victory and success. That's what's happening. Victory and success, celebrations, cutting through emotions. Is somebody weighing you down emotionally and you're like, oh God, I've had enough. And yet, ultimately, it'll bring you to a happier position in your home life. Your home will feel happier once you have all these big conversations and tackle somebody really full on, head on. And then once you do, you'll feel a sense of victory and a sense of strength and a sense of celebration. Yeah, it's quite unusual, Libra. Here we have the Two of Swords. So you're telling me that you don't know what direction to go in. And I understand that. There's so much going on, judging by the first few cards that we've read in March. How do you move? How do you proceed? It's like you've got choices. I could go this way or I could go that way. I don't have all the details, though. I don't know which way to go. But I've said this to who? To Aries, I think it was, that if you ever look outside a courthouse, you'll see the goddess Themis. She is like Libra. She's holding the scales of justice, and she's blindfolded. And the reason she's blindfolded is that she gets to make the right decision when she is not looking, when she is not using what she already knows. She's not been prejudiced. She's not been biased. She is going with the facts and the facts alone. It's almost like I get a feeling that there's somebody in your life playing you a bit emotionally, or some situation that's tugging on your heartstrings and you don't know which way to move. And all through March you're saying, facts. We need to organise ourselves. I need to organise myself. And from now on, it's facts and facts only. Like the goddess Themis outside the courthouse. Nobody's going to sway me. Nobody's going to bribe me. Nobody's going to cajole me. I am just now looking for the facts. And once I have the facts, I'll be able to move. I'll be able to make a good decision. Okay? And beside that is the Five of Wands. I mean, here is a bunch of guys who just can't agree on anything. This is trouble. This is strife. These are people that they're just confused. And because of this confusion, they're making a disaster wherever they go. And they're just causing trouble wherever they go. And if you're surrounded by this energy, Libra, by people who are just really, every time you try to do something, they roadblock you, then know that this will pass. Know that you'll get, when March ends, you'll get a clearer handle on how to fix this. But it is a bit of trouble and it is a bit of strife, and it comes all from confusion. And that's why March is such an important month for you to get organised, you know, to get all your ducks in a row. And if there are arguments, have all angles covered. If you have any legal documents or anything like that, have all those covered before Mercury retrogrades in your 7th house there around the 21st, 22nd of March, so that there's no arguments. Have everything done by the 3rd week in March. It'll save you this shit. Just people killing themselves. And then what do we have, Libra? We have the Four of Cups. This is again, like I said, the full moon. So at the start of the month and at the end of the month, because the end of the month we have a full moon in your 1st house, your identity, how the world sees you, what you put out there, your inside reflected outwards. And this is another card of meditating, going slow just as the beginning of the month and the end of the month, going deep, going inside and taking a time out. And looking at your love situation in particular. And 2 things might be happening. You might be looking back and saying, how did it all go so wrong? When I entered this relationship or that relationship, I never knew that it was going to be like this. I had no idea it was going to be such a struggle. I had no idea that I'd be feeling a little bit lonesome. I had no idea that there was so many things I basically didn't know about the other person. And it kind of gives you pause at the end of the month where you're reflecting upon that. Also, this is the card of somebody who's taking time out to think about how they really feel about their lover or love situation. And for those Libras who are single, it's just taking time out from people that you care about. People, maybe your family, your children, siblings, friends, whoever it is. Taking a step back and going, I don't know, how do I show real love? You're looking into the cups and you're saying, this relationship was a disaster. This one didn't go the way I thought it would go. This one caused me a bit of pain. Why can't everything just be a lot smoother and run easier? Why does it always have to be so difficult? And here you have in the background the universe opening up and giving you more love. And it's saying, look, by the end of the month, I know that there'll be a big focus on you and you going back and meditating on what is really the meaning of love for you. What does it mean for you, Libra, to be in love? How much love do you give and how much love do you get back in return, etc., etc. And the universe is going to answer that by saying, look, love is really all there if you want it. Love is out there. But first you've got to ask yourself, what is it that you accept in love? What are your boundaries? What are you willing to put up with? What are you not willing to put up with? And once you decide that, you'll be able to go ahead, with the blessing of the universe, to find a love that reflects you better and reflects what you want in your life better. Now, for those who are in a relationship, this doesn't mean you're going to dump your lover, your husband, your spouse, your wife. Well, it doesn't mean that. It just means you're going to go back a little bit and say, I didn't think it was going to be like this when I started this relationship. How do I get it back to the way that I had first imagined it was going to be? I'm going to move this up here, Libra, and just talk about this. This is the last card, the Four of Wands, and this card talks about feeling a great expansion. It's like the touch of Jupiter, an expansion of love, an expansion of celebration. You see, you've gone from this, the Four of Cups, into the Four of Wands. So feeling, how did love get like this? I wish it would go back to the way it was, etc. To feeling an expansion of, I can do this. I can make my life work out. Even if I'm on my own, I can make this work. I can do this. It's also an expansion of celebrations. For some people, they say it's a marriage. You've two celebrations going on here in March. It could be a marriage or some party or something, but it's feeling at the end of the month that you've got a lot to celebrate, that you can actually move forward with your life, and you do have good things going on in your life. It might not be how you imagined it at the beginning, but still, it's good, and it's worth keeping, and it's worth feeling all that beautiful fiery passion for. Now, one extra card here, Libra, the Hermit. And again, this is the bookends of March. The beginning of March, the first day, and the last day of March with the full moons. And both full moons will be calling you to look back upon yourself. This is a Virgo card, and traditionally it's Virgo, etc., and it's Saturn also, some people say. But for me, every time this card comes up, it talks about 12th house issues, which we've discussed at the start of the video, which is all about going in, retreating inside yourself, and feeling strong in your own judgment, feeling strong in your own truth, feeling supported in everything that you do, but not externally, not strong and supported by the people who are around you, and great if you do have help, wonderful, but this is more personal. This is about feeling that you are guided by your own wisdom, your own truth, and your own map and compass, and trusting it. So like I said, the first day of March and the last day of March, two bookends about retreating back into yourself and ultimately realizing that you do have a good life, Libra. Your life is good. Sure, there's some changes that have to be made, maybe in your household, maybe in your relationship, having those conversations. If there are tricky people or people who are emotionally, manipulating you a little bit or triggering you to fix things for them, then yeah, okay, you can deal with that. But ultimately, they're all things that can be fixed. Really, March is a good month because it will ultimately remind you that you can do this on your own. You can do this. All of the stuff you're dealing with, you can do it. You can do it. And you can do it because you trust yourself. You trust your mind, your famous Libra intellect. You trust your ability to discern situations. And you just trust yourself. And I think that's kind of a nice card to end with. Self-trust. Trust yourself. You can't go wrong. Libra, I hope you enjoyed that. If this is your first time watching my videos, then please subscribe. You can like, share. You can join me on my Facebook page too. I add extra little bits of content on it every now and again. It'd be nice to join the community there and come back next month. And let's see what happens next month for Libra. In the meantime, Libra, a big kiss. Mwah, and I'll see you next time.